Hello, my name is Bill, and this video is about the reading event, Winter of Wyndham. So it's an event created by Gareth at Books, Songs, and Other Magic. So the idea is to read some John Wyndham this winter. So I discovered John Wyndham in the early 70s. So I read all of his books that I could find in the school library. So around 1970 is when I discovered the science fiction section at the library, and was reading as many of those as I could get to, and until I finished school in 1976. And then recently I've acquired some John Wyndham books that I've reread. So there's The Day of the Triffids. So I read this for English in grade 10. So first published 1951. In the Kraken Wakes. So I probably read this one in the early 70s. The name seems familiar. And then I just read it again a few months ago. So probably this year. This was first published 1953. Almost need a magnifying glass to see that. So who was the cover artist on these ones? This matching set I have here. Cover illustration, Brian Cronin. So this is alien invasion story that at the beginning appears to be sea monsters attacking ships, but it's aliens that have landed and taken up residence in the oceans. The Day of the Triffids is about plants that attack humans, and plants that can walk around. So there's a meteor shower, and everyone that watched it went blind. So the main character in here, he was in the hospital and had bandages over his eyes, so he missed the meteor shower. So he's one of the few people that could see. So that stories about how the humanity can survive when most people are blind and there's plants running around killing people. Chrysalids. I read this one in the early 70s. And again, just a few months ago, probably January. And this first published 1955. And the cover, Brian Cronin. Trouble with Lichen. So I read this at the end of December. I don't know if it's one I read back in the 70s. I don't really remember it. It's 1960. Brian Cronin, the cover artist. The Midwich Cuckoos. So this one's 1957. So I don't remember if I read this one back in the 70s or not, but I read it early this year. So the village of Midwich that aliens landed in the village of Midwich, and everybody in the village was unconscious while the aliens were visiting. But afterwards they discovered all the women were pregnant, so they all give birth to alien children at about the same time. So the story's about how they coped with alien children in the village and keeping it secret from the rest of the world. So I said I read Chrysalids a few months ago, but it was probably a couple of years ago. I just got this new copy at Christmas. That's why I was thinking I had just read it. So that's all for this video. See you in the next one.